Let's have a roll call, please. I did turn it on.
Oops. Commissioner Willock has already told us he would be absent. Commissioner Mascali,
Present.
Commissioner Fleischer,
Present.
Vice Chair O'Carroll,
Present.
and Chair Williams.
Present.
4 members are present.
Okay, shall we all stand and do the Pledge of Allegiance? Commissioner.
Liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. May I ask for public comment? Items not on the agenda?
We do not have any requests to speak.
Great. May I request receipt of correspondence?
There was only one, the Culver City Historical Society, and I sent that to you by email, to all of you.
Thank you. All right, then we can begin with the consent calendar items. I'd like to begin with the approval of minutes of the regular meetings of July 16th and August 20th of 2024. Do any of the commissioners have any additions, changes, corrections? Vice Chair O'Carroll?
Yes, I had a suggestion for the August minutes, page 5 of 9. Make sure I have the right page, because this is page 5 of 9. Oh, yeah, here it is. So it's the second big paragraph. It says Vice Chair O'Carroll.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay. I just want to suggest a couple things. Where it says read a statement, I'd like to say, instead of statement, letter
Yes, got it.
from the Culver City Arts Foundation. And then instead of about, if we could put which included. I think it's just clear. That's it.
Okay. So Vice Chair O'Carroll read a letter from the Culver City Arts Foundation, which included proposed changes to the Art in Public Places Ordinance, semicolon. Okay. Yes. Got it.
Any other changes or corrections? Okay. Will we take a vote to approve both minutes, both sets of minutes, please? Can we get a motion to approve? Okay, great.
So this would be to approve as amended.
The August 20th. Or July 16th. Which one was that?
So the first would be July 16th, 2024. We can do them together. And August 20, 2024
With the changes, yes.
with changes. So moved by, please start voting if you can.
I was not present, so do I abstain? Is that the,
You may, but you don't have to.
okay.
You may vote, but what you are affirming is that it's an accurate record of the meeting.
Okay. I'm going to abstain since I wasn't here to
Right.
determine that.
Okay. So everyone has voted, I guess.
I would just encourage to watch particularly the August meeting because we did a lot of code conversation in that one. That was a big meeting for that, updates on that.
So with 3 yeses, 1 abstention, and 1 absent, the minutes are approved.
Great. Okay, we can move down to our action items. We're going to have the receipt and filing of updates from the members of the Cultural Affairs Commission ad hoc subcommittees. Which do we want to begin with?
If you'd like, we could go down the list in order as they're listed on the attachment there. Or we
Sure.
can go in any order that you prefer. But that
Let's-
starts with Artist Laureate.
Let's start there. Commissioner Fleischer?
So our artist laureate, Katie Krantz, had a community tile project. She had a booth at the Art Walk and Roll Festival and was very busy all day making tiles with the public. She will also hold a tile-making workshop at La Bayona's Fall Festival. Her final community art making session will be on October 26th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. at 11029 Washington Boulevard. That's at the former gun store, where community members can come out and create with her as well as contribute feedback for the future of the property. Jesse and Sally will be on hand to lead the feedback portion of the event, and notices have gone out at many public events, the Hispanic Heritage Month, Jazz Nights, Art Walk and Roll, etc., to publicize October 26th. CCUSD will be informing the public via principal e-newsletters too. The final tiles will be glazed and fired and then installed on the building in December as Katie finishes her term as Artist Laureate. We are also going to have an Artist Laureate evaluation. The community survey was launched last week. Sally will gather and send feedback in a couple weeks once responses are culled. It was sent to over 19,000 emails. A consultant, Sarah DeLayden, has been hired to facilitate the focused evaluation for the program. Sarah will lead the session on November 13th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. in the patio room at City Hall. She will also reach out to folks who were invited but are unavailable for that day. She will produce a report in early December, which will include any recommendations for changes or updates to the program in time for an early 2025 application and artist selection process. The next artist will begin July 1st, 2025. Okay.
Thank you.
I think if anyone has any questions or comments, you could pause in between reports to discuss.
Any questions or comments? Okay, great. Then we'll move on down to the Creative Economy and Cultural Plan. Will that be will that be Commissioner Fleischer or Vice Chair O'Carroll?
Commissioner Fleischer and myself attended a June 12th roundtable at, and Lee was there too, at Sony to discuss, Econ Dev hosted it and was to discuss the state of the creative economy, and there were various businesses there within the creative economy, and they gave feedback about how things could be more friendly for them from the city. We also discussed at that meeting, which we have been discussing for years, a mixer, a networking mixer. And so as a follow-up, on September 27th, Commissioner Fleischer, Sally Unsworth, and myself had a meeting to discuss a creative economy mixer on October 23rd, which will be held at the new A-Frame Theater and Gardens at the Gloria Kaufman Cultural Center at the Vende Museum. So we're really excited that this mixer is, any news on RSVPs or anything about that?
Yes, we had a meeting this morning. We're looking like 40 RSVPs so far. We also have redistributed the list for specific calls and emails to our lists to make sure and remind folks to RSVP. So that is what I know for now, but it's definitely on the calendar and moving forward.
Commissioner Fleischer, did you want to add anything?
Great, thank you. Can't wait. Should be a fun mixer. Vice Chair O'Carroll, would you like to talk about the Culver City Arts Foundation as a liaison?
Member of the Culver City Arts Foundation Subcommittee, and that's Commissioner Willick. I've already cited in a recent meeting all the things the Culver City Arts Foundation has been doing, so I won't repeat myself there. But I will mention that most recently, they hosted their big fundraiser of the year, which is Tito's Fiesta Mexicana, and that was on Friday, October 4th. And then on Monday, October 21st, we're going to have our quarterly subcommittee meeting with the chair, Jim Clark. Sally will be there, Commissioner Willick, and myself. And then after that, I look forward to providing further updates about the Culver City Arts Foundation.
Great, thank you. Okay, let's see. We want to talk about the 2025 Culver City Performing Arts Grant Program.
Subcommittee meeting last month. One significant change we made to the process, and I would dare say it was an improvement to the process, is we added a scoring rubric for the panelists, providing clear criteria and striving for more consistent scoring prior to the panel meeting, while also giving more structure to the discussions during the panel days. The online application was also made easier this year, so thank you to Lee for doing that. We had 34 total submitted performing arts grant applications, with the total requested amount at approximately $350,000. They were allowed to ask for $12,000 maximum award, and that is a matching grant. Since we had so many applicants, we will have 2 panel days and then a final panel to discuss final recommendations to the CAC, all of which are happening over the next 2 weeks. The panels will be October 23rd and 24th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., and these panels will be virtual, followed by a panel on Monday the following week. Since January 2024, our grantees have reported audiences of almost 9,500 at sponsored performances. Over 6,000 of those were at the Actors Gang, Culver City. Several of our returning applicants are feeling very optimistic and are hoping to use larger locations or have more shows next year. All of those grant performances are in addition to the many additional performing arts events that the city itself is presenting, like the summer concert series, which went into August, and the presently ongoing jazz series this month.
Thank you. You mentioned that you had attended one of the jazz events.
I
Was it
haven't
well
been-
attended?
I didn't go to the jazz events, but
okay.
I was at all of the summer concert series
Right.
events, and they were fabulous.
Yeah.
I did attend the first one, and I believe Commissioner O'Carroll is attending soon.
Okay, great. Historic Preservation Ordinance and Program Update. Commissioner Mascali, do you have anything? Yes.
Yeah, I can report on that because I don't think we've had a chance to even discuss this one. But I do have a brief update on that one, which is I think that the work of that subcommittee will probably start the beginning of the year. And it is my understanding that the subcommittee's work will really be to review what was decided about proceeding with potential historic code revisions. But I've also been in touch with the consultant that we frequently use on major consulting when we have a large-scale historic preservation issue, and she's willing to talk us through what that process might look like so that we're all informed as to what the current practices are in historic preservation so that the city can be up to speed in that. I think it's very out of date right now, so it would be to bring it up to speed with current practice.
Thank you. And finally, let's have a report from Vice Chair O'Carroll regarding the 2028 Olympics.
So our last Olympic subcommittee meeting occurred on September 23rd, and it was Commissioner Mascali, myself, Sally, and Sam. It was a very fruitful meeting. We discussed a lot and covered a lot of territory. We discussed reviewing data when it becomes available from the Paris Olympics and how the arts programming did and what was the turnout, and what lessons can we learn from Paris before we put in motion our Olympic arts programming. And I just think that is going to be such valuable data because, sure we get it right. And so that date is 28 Olympics. We hope to have more guidance from LA 28 about how to best partner and plan, including getting guidelines and approval for marketing and logo use. We discussed collaborating with other nearby small cities to avoid repetition for dates, repetition and or competition for dates and resources before, during, and after the games. So thank you, Sally, for that information. And then Commissioner Muscali also mentioned that we also discussed the ideas of cultural partnership with Culver City sister cities as well as local cultural partners. So at our December commission meeting, we're planning on having a discussion about what the commission recommends for arts programming and initiatives during the Olympics to then make recommendations to the city council by February. That's it.
Thank you. Have you heard if we're going to get any activities here?
Well, that's what we're going to be discussing and what kind of activities that might be. And certainly I'm eager to hear what Paris has to say and what works and what doesn't.
Okay, I was curious because I noticed that Los Angeles had announced some smaller cities that were going to be in partnership with them to have events, and I didn't hear Culver City, so I just wondered if we were going to have at least one event to bring people to Culver City, or were we going to be used
Some
for
of the things-
parking, or what is Culver City?
Do you mean athletic events or other events?
During the Olympics, what will bring, everybody's going to watch activities for the Olympics, so I was trying to figure out if Culver City is going to get an activity here,
We're not-
volleyball or something.
No, we're not hosting any athletic events.
Nothing?
And that is why it's all the more important that we really get the cultural part right in the arts activities, because there's nothing athletic happening in Culver City.
I will say, just having done some of the updates with LA 28, that what we do know is that as venue cities have been, formalized, they have been able to broadcast more of what is happening in those cities where events will be taking place.
Right.
I've heard that potentially the first of the year will be when we start to trickle down into cities that aren't actual venue cities. But there's also other countries that are coming and meeting with different cities, and I know that's happened at Culver City. I'm not sure if there's anything that's actually formal yet, but there's lots of conversations and meetings happening about collaborations and who might be here during that game, whether a country is hosted here, or any of those elements are all still in conversation.
Fantastic. Yeah, because we could do like overflow or something. I mean, there should be a role to get people to Culver City, so.
Well, just so you know, like, for instance, all the hotels are already completely booked in Culver City for the Olympics. So,
So they're going to need something to do at night. That's fantastic. Great, thank you. Does there need to be a report from the Standing Public Art?
If you'd like to stay a few things, we only created this as an ad hoc report out, but it's fine to give a report for anything you want to say there as
Okay,
well.
I just wanted to say that the Public Art Committee met during the summer months to review the Farragut Connector project. A selection committee consisting of artists, community, and staff met to select 3 candidates. One candidate stuck out and was awarded. That was the project. Her name of the artist is Sonia Romero. She attended the August Cultural Affairs meeting and presented her project to all the commissioners, and it was approved by the Cultural Affairs Commissioners to be forwarded to City Council for their approval. And I guess I had something to say about the historic preservation, that the municipal code is still in play, and we're waiting on an equity plan before moving forward on the performing arts allocation. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
I have a question about the Farragut connector. Do you know the timeline for getting the artwork up? Because the connector is done and it's beautiful.
Yeah, so on October 9th, Sonia, we presented her proposal and the budget estimate approval to City Council, which they approved because it's over 50,000. In terms of the timeline, I'm working with her right now to finalize her contract agreement, and once that's done, she can begin to start the work. I'm expecting, I'm trying to push for a earlier installation of the artwork in the Farragut connector. Originally, we wanted to have it done by June of 2025, which is the end of the current fiscal year. but I'm hoping to have it done by spring of next year. So, but I think, again, once the contract is completed, then I'm gonna, push and work with Sonia to do the fabrication, design, and all that. And hopefully installation will take place. I'm hoping like in March of next year, March 2025.
Great, I'll look forward to that.
Yeah.
And if you haven't gone through yet to the beautiful new connector, if you enter on the Jackson entrance, the location of the mural will be just to your right along the wall there, not along the wooden fence, but along the wall right as you enter from Jackson.
Thank you. I believe that completes our action items. If you have any more questions or discussion, we can move on to public comment, items not on the agenda.
No? Okay. We have no public comment still.
Okay,
Nope.
then may I start requesting items from staff?
Okay, I'm going to do my items first. As Tanya reported, we have a positive response to our public call for applications for the 2025 Performing Arts Grant Program. At the next CAC meeting, you'll be receiving the recommendations from the ad hoc subcommittee regarding recommended grant awards. You'll also be hearing directly from many of the grant applicants, some of whom will be here in person, some of whom will write public comments that we'll send to you in advance. There are also many upcoming performances by organizations that have already received grants for 2024, and most of those are also reapplying for 2025. First is October 27th, where Brockus Red will present a cabaret-style dance performance at Veterans Memorial Building. Tickets are free for Culver City residents and $15 for general admission. Then on November 2nd, Heidi Duckler Dance will perform What Remains Unseen at the Venda Museum, and it is inspired by, it's a companion piece to the new exhibition at the museum called Counter Surveillance. It'll include live music, projections, and will be like an interactive work through the museum gardens. Then on November 7th, Contratiempo is going to present the third in their series of 3 performances. It's a dance and conversation at the Village Well in their new expanded space. Then on November 9th, the LA Women's Theater Festival is going to culminate an 8-week series of storytelling workshops with a free public performance that is by and about Culver City women at the Veterans Memorial Building in the Rotunda Room. They're also then going to have a reception and Q&A. Then the next day, on November 10th, Helix Collective, which is a new group working with us, is a 10-piece film music ensemble. They're going to perform original soundtracks from the 1920s to the 1980s at the Venda Museum. Technically, they are sold out on Eventbrite. If you really want to go, we can ask them if it's possible. We are a major funder of theirs, so we can at least ask if you want to go, so let me know. And then on November 16th, Orchestra Nova, which is formerly known as the Los Angeles Doctors Symphony Orchestra. They are a longtime resident company of Culver City. They'll be performing at the Veterans Memorial Auditorium, which has many, many seats, with a show called Fables and Fantasies. It's free. It's designed to entertain the whole family. Also on November 16th, and with a second performance on November 17th, there's a dance performance at Turning Point School by Donna Sternberg and dancers. It is 4 choreographers paired with 4 scientists to create original dances. Information for all of these grant-sponsored events, plus more, are posted on the Culver City Community Calendar, promoted by email, and on the city's social media. Thank you.
Okay. My report includes giving a little update on some of the e-blasts that you may have seen in the past month. One was to invite artists to contact us if they wanted to start scheduling studio visits. We received over 15 replies from artists and more growing. And Sam and I have attended, well, I've attended two. Sam and I attended a studio visit that was prompted by a local artist, who is part of Downtown Studios, the Mohilif Studios. So Sam and I spent the day there with approximately, 20 different artists. We saw a lot. And it was really interesting because we had the chance to ask artists what they had ever done in municipal work before, what was some of the things that they had hoped from cities when they did engage with them, or with the county, or with the other entities when they were doing public commission. So we learned a lot that way, and we also got to see a great variety of different medium. And then I also met with a artist in the Arts District here on Monday, Trevor Cooperman, who was also part of the Art Walk, and got to see his studio and learn about his practice, and had a great conversation with him as well. So all of these will be really useful conversations as we develop and understand either commissions or professional development opportunities, or just building community in general. You may have noticed, if you've been around the Lions Fountain, that there are 10 shiny new bollards that were a long time coming and are protecting the fountain right now. I just wanted to thank Sam Lee for his work getting that going, and they were installed last week. I'd also like to give credit to Joe Suska, who was enormously helpful in getting us through the contracts and the procurement and the sourcing and getting everything installed. So you may recall that that fountain can sometimes get damaged if it's driven over, and so this will help prevent any future damage in that regard. Last night at the City Council meeting, Hope Parrish was appointed the City Historian, an honorific title. So I wanted to express my congratulations, and I know that Hope is already very close contact with Cultural Affairs, but I look forward to even closer contact with Hope, and think she's a wonderful choice for this position, and will bring a lot of collaboration with regards to the city's history and historic preservation work that we do. There's a couple of collaborations, one already mentioned, which is the Creative Economy Mixer that's happening next Wednesday. I very much encourage everyone to attend at the Venda. And that is a partnership with EconDev, our colleagues in EconDev. And another one, I will be attending a meeting in the Arts District this Saturday to discuss the future of the medians in that area. They've invited me to come to talk about whether or not there may be a potential art opportunities in those medians as well. You mentioned the Artist Laureate evaluation. We sent out a public feedback survey last week. To date, we've received 45 replies and some really interesting comments and suggestions. So I look forward to sharing those when that cycle ends, but just was already noted that November 13th will be our more internal conversation about that program with many of the stakeholders who've had contributed to its success. My colleagues here, Lee Lawler and Sam Lee, together, we will be attending the Arts for LA Summit tomorrow all day. So we're looking forward to that. I also recently attended with Lee the Arts for LA session, which was about 3 weeks ago, where we did have a lot of very fruitful conversation about Olympics plannings in the city of Los Angeles. And I would say that the overarching comment there was just how eager everyone was to collaborate and to work together and to share information and to be able to provide and work nicely with each other. So it was a lovely meeting, and I got a lot of great information there. I think that I'll give a little update that you already know that the December will be held in another, because they're doing tech upgrades in this chambers room. And I'll just note that some of those tech upgrades have meant that the potential for the Music and Chambers program looks like realistically late April, May. So I'll be able to give you more confirmation on that once we set that. But I think that the chambers will be out of service and through most of February. And then we go right into budget season. I think that's all I have. Thank you very much.
Vice Chair Carroll?
Just two items I wanted to mention. As you know, Commissioner Mascali and myself sat on the subcommittee for entertainment for Fiesta La Leona. And so we selected the various entertainment for the three-day festival, and it included 13 different performers and bands. So on behalf of the subcommittee, I was invited by Parks and Rec to attend the opening ceremony of Fiesta La Leona on August 23rd, which I did. As you know, Commissioner Mascali was away. I am so looking forward to the jazz concert this Sunday, October 20th. It's Delfio Marsalis Quintet performing at the Kirk Douglas Theater. Delfio Marsalis is a trombonist, and he's a member of the extraordinarily talented Marsalis family based in Los Angeles. Their dad's Ellis Marsalis. One of his brothers is trumpeter Wynton Marsalis. Another one of his brothers is saxophonist Branford Marsalis. The Jazz Festival is sponsored by the city of Culver City and curated by the Jazz Bakery, and I'm really looking forward to it. That's it for me. Thanks.
That's fantastic.
And that's Saturday night?
Sunday.
Sunday night, okay, cool.
Thank you. I have nothing either. So with that, I would like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
The motion passes with 4 ayes. Thank you.